Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and recently Hardsuit Labs has shared more information on their upcoming game, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I'm here to boil it all down for you, so let's jump in. This month's issue of Game Informer magazine features an informative spread by Matt Burtz. In it, he covers some information we've already heard, at least you have if you've watched my previous videos. But he also gives us some new information about Thinbloods, combat, and blood drinking mechanics. Many have been confused about whether or not we'll play Thinbloods, and it appears the answer to that is a resounding yes. This means that along with the rogue vampires being hunted by the Camarilla in Seattle, the player will also be in their crosshairs. As a young vampire, we'll have access to a small arsenal of supernatural abilities. Aside from the ones we saw in the teaser, we'll have access to heightened senses akin to investigation mode in the Arkham games, the ability to turn to mist and levitate objects. As we align ourselves with certain clans, we'll even learn new powers from them. When we aren't using our powers, however, most combat will be hand-to-hand according to Burtz, who says many of the skirmishes are focused on hand-to-hand combat, with players taking advantage of their supernatural agility to dodge incoming attacks and close the gap between them and their opponents quickly. Guns are occasionally interjected into the mix, but most of the time you're relying on your supernatural gifts to survive these scraps. During our demo, we saw several impressive feats, like running up a wall to pounce on an enemy from above. He also briefly mentioned some blood-drinking mechanics. If you mortally wound an NPC while feeding, you accrue madness over time. Partaking in fatal feedings will eventually strip you of your humanity and will affect your behavior and dialogue choices. A bit more info about classes comes to us by way of GameSpot. Apparently at the start of the game, players will be able to choose from 3 distinct disciplines for their character. These disciplines will determine your character's abilities and other stats. While this is standard fare for games like this, old school fans have reason to rejoice. Paradox says that these classes are directly adapted from the classic Vampire the Masquerade pen and paper game. The Chiropteran discipline will take advantage of the vampire's connection to bats. Mentalism will grant the player heightened mental abilities, and Nebulation will give you command over mist and mist forms. Each discipline will grow as you progress through the game, unlocking more powers and heightened versions of those powers that you already possess. Those who choose the way of the bat will eventually be able to use skills like Glide, which render your bones hollow, allowing you to ascend to great heights. Mentalists will eventually be able to levitate entire groups of people over the span of an entire area, while those who favor Nebulation will be able to conjure a vortex of mist that chokes and blinds every enemy it touches. According to the same GameSpot report, Paradox is planning to reveal more news about the game's clans in the coming weeks, and they've already started by showing us more about Thinbloods. You can check out that video in the link below, as well as my other sources. Make sure to sub for more coverage, perhaps even coverage on other tabletop-inspired games like Cyberpunk 2077. What questions do you still have about this blood-sucking RPG? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.